Let me ask you something. Would you rather pay train fare or a highway toll? Do you think the admission charge at the movie theater is reasonable? In your country, what percentage of a doctor's fee do patients usually need to pay? In this podcast English lesson, you're going to learn the difference between 6 different types of things you can pay. Let's discuss.
Welcome to another Happy English podcast coming to you from New York City. And here's your English teacher, Michael.
All right, thank you, John, and thanks, everyone. It's Michael here from Happy English, and I help people speak English better. And this is Happy English Podcast, episode 704. 6 things you can pay. Charge, fee, fare, toll, dues, and tariff. We use these 6 words to talk about an amount of money that you need to pay, but the way that we use them is different. By the end of this English lesson, you're going to know all the different ways that you can use this vocabulary. Let's get the ball rolling. The first one is charge. Basically, as a noun, a charge is the amount of money you need to pay for goods and services. Here are some examples. I was shocked when I saw the charge for room service at that hotel. The admission charge for a matinee at the Broadway Theater is just $9. That teacher posts a lot of English lessons on his website, which are free of charge. We also use charge as a verb, and it means to ask a certain amount for payment of something. For example, this high-end supermarket charges $45 for a 3-liter can of olive oil. The new pizza shop has great food, but they don't charge a lot for it. That popular marketing expert charges $200,000 to speak at an event. Next, we have fee. A fee is a payment that you make for things like professional services and memberships. For example, Jennifer said that the fee she paid for her gym membership was high, but she believes it's worth it for her health. The lawyer's fees for handling Mark's case were a lot higher than he had originally thought they would be. You'll need to include the application fee when you submit your college admission documents. The next one is fare. A fare is the money you pay for public transportation, such as bus, train, or taxi rides. You can say things like bus fare, train fare, and for traveling by plane, we use airfare. Here are some examples. Lisa checked the bus fare before boarding to be sure she had exact change. The taxi driver quoted us a reasonable fare for the ride to the airport. David said he got a good deal on the airfare for his trip to Thailand. The next one is toll. A toll is a payment you give in order to use a particular road, bridge, or tunnel. While some roads are free to use, the ones that are not free are often called toll roads. Here are some examples. There are no tolls on any of the bridges that go from Brooklyn and Queens to Manhattan. In New York State, highways that are called parkways are toll-free, but you do need to pay a toll on other highways. When I was a kid, you could pay your toll by depositing coins in a basket at the toll booth. The next one is dues. Dues are regular payments that happen monthly or yearly that people pay to be members of an organization or a club. Keep in mind, the word dues is usually used in the plural form because there is generally more than one payment. For example, all members of that labor union need to pay monthly dues. If you live in a condominium, you're going to need to pay monthly dues, which are used for the upkeep of the common areas. Jack stopped going to his tennis club because the cost of the dues doubled over the past 2 years. The last word for today is tariff. Tariff is a government tax that is charged on imported or exported goods. Here are some examples. The new tariff on foreign steel imports affects the prices of construction materials. The government imposed a high tariff on luxury goods to encourage domestic production. In general, imported cars are more expensive than domestically produced cars because of import tariffs. Keep in mind, the best way to remember this and any vocabulary is to take the word or phrase, write it in a sentence that's true for you or true in your world, and then memorize your sentences. Well, that's it for this English lesson podcast, which just happens to be free of charge. By the way, if you'd like to get more practice using your English, why don't you join my Podcast Learners Study Group? There, you can make new friends, join me for live group coaching every week, plus get the PDF transcript and audio download for every Happy English podcast in the past and in the future. And each episode has exercises where you can practice this English point with speaking and writing checked by me. To learn more, or to see some of the example sentences from this lesson, just visit myhappyenglish.com and choose Podcast Lesson 704. Remember, learning another language is not easy, but it's not impossible, and I'm here to help you on your journey.
This podcast was brought to you by Happy English. Please visit myhappyenglish.com. Show your support for Happy English by leaving us a review. Get English, get happy, Happy English.